Hi guys, so I'm really excited to share with you my experience of the 72-hour water fast. So just briefly, what is it? Pretty simple. All you do is drink water for 3 days. No food, no nothing, just water. I didn't have any hot water either. I was like, screw it, let's just have water. Now, how did I prepare? This is important. I didn't really. I just picked a time. I had a bit of red wine on a Saturday evening. I enjoyed myself very much, and then I had lots of food in the morning, and then I stopped eating at 12. And that is how I prepared. And now, let's dive into the fast. I am 2 minutes into my fast. The 72-hour fast begins. So I'm 1.5 hours in. Obviously, this isn't a big deal. I do intermittent fasting. So I think I'll give you the next update when I passed maybe the 20-hour mark, 24-hour mark, and I'll let you know how I'm getting on. Just finished 10.5 hours of the fast so far. Pretty casual, usual sort of stuff. And I actually had to have a short workout, which I think is going to pain me later. But I was feeling a little bit on edge, so I decided to work out to make my body feel a bit better. And I'm going to go for a very light swim tomorrow morning, and then I'll see how I get on. So I'm just passing the 20-hour mark now. Everything's fine. I went for a swim this morning. I like to relax. Now I've got client calls, potential clients, all of today, and I'll let you know how I get on. Water's going down well. I am now 31 hours in, I think. Oh no, I think I've overestimated. I'm 29 hours in. I'm not even halfway. I believe I stopped eating on Sunday at 12. I'm going to start eating Wednesday at 12. It's just a little bit intimidating, really. Alas, it's all for a good cause. Testing my limits, seeing my mental capacity, and feeling pretty excited. Although tomorrow I have a feeling I'm going to be rather hungry. Wasn't too bad today, but I think that's because I'm used to I've done a 40-hour fast before. But tomorrow, I think it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be new territory. Side note, can I tell you how lovely it is to not have to worry about food the entire day? Because when you just drink water, you're so productive. Because usually I get a little bit peckish. And, I'm there. I find myself opening the fridge and it beeps at me because I've held it too long. I still eat healthy food, but I just get quite snacky. It's been a rather fantastic day. So the day is coming to an end. It's now been about 34 hours. And by the time I wake up, I'll have passed the 40-hour mark. And I'll let you know how I feel in the morning. Over and out. So it's 8:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm 44.5 hours in. And I'm really feeling quite tired. And I've slept. I'm thinking I need to hydrate massively. So hungry, I actually broke my fast. Jokes! No, I am... Can you believe this? I'm coming up to 56 hours without food. This is just wild. This is wild. I was feeling very, very hungry earlier, though. Now I'm just feeling a little lightheaded. My energy isn't that great, but I've just been out for the past 8 hours, and now I'm going to quickly grab some more water and hydrate myself a little more. I'm 58 hours in, and I am so tired. Wake up tomorrow, do the morning, and then I'm going to eat some food. Good morning. We are coming up to the 69 hour mark. No food. Last night, because I was out in the afternoon, I didn't really drink much water. So I think I was just very dehydrated. And I was just not feeling that great, to be honest. But today is a new day. I've woken up. I have 3 hours before I have a mini feast. Not a big feast like I did last time. Because those of you who watch the 40-hour fast, you know I chowed down and had to have a 5-minute nap afterwards. I am so excited to eat some food. Those of you who've never done a fast, honestly, this is challenging, but I'm very excited to be rewarded with some yummy food. I don't know where it's come from, but all of a sudden, 69.5 hours, and I have loads of energy. I don't know what's wrong with me. This is crazy. How are you starting your morning? I've decided that I'm going to start preparing for me to have some food, and I'm so excited. So I'm now coming to the end of my fast. It's been 71 hours and 47 minutes, and I just wanted to share what's going on with me right now. I'm feeling very excited for food, but I don't need it. Like, I honestly think I could carry on for longer, which is a good thing to know. I'm excited for some food. I'm glad I decided on 72 hours. And I think that when I reflect back on this time, I realise that definitely the last 24 hours have been the most difficult. I'm hoping that in 13 minutes I don't overeat. There's a chance I will, but I think that because I've made a big fat salad, that I should be okay. The countdown begins. We have 9 minutes left. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, he's going to eat at exactly 72 hours. I'm not. I'm going to weigh myself. Then I'm going to take some body shots, see what the difference is. And then I'm going to chow down. Okay, so I've made beetroot, peppers, avocado, rocket, had some udon, a little bit of salt and pepper and some cucumber. And then I also have a protein shake with wheatgrass and protein in. What do I start with? I think I'm going to go with some beetroot. Okay. Feels so weird. I'm chewing. I don't think my body knows what's happening. This is a very strange feeling. I'm glad you joined me on the journey. Now, time to chow down. It feels so strange eating. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this because I spent 72 hours, like 3 days, not doing this. This is so cool.
So I really hope you enjoyed that. I decided to wear the same jumper. The reason I was actually wearing this jumper is that it's so warm, and I was actually pretty cold by the end of it because I'm doing this in December in London. So I very much warmed myself up by wearing this. It's actually quite nice to wear now. So what happened after the fast? So after I finished, I then dived into having a bit of a salad, like a really big salad as you saw, followed by the protein shake. I then went for a colonic in London, and I did the 72-hour fast to see if there's anything else in my system. And surprisingly, there was. So I'm like, okay, well, clearly these colonic things are amazing. And afterwards, energy-wise was great. So colonics for me are a must. That was like my second objective, apart from giving myself the challenge of the 72-hour fast. Now then, I've had quite a lot of food since, it must be said. I've eaten probably about 3 days worth of food in 2 days, which to be honest, I've really enjoyed. So looking back at the fast, what are some of the things that I've learned? So first of all, my thoughts on the overall journey was it difficult? Yes, it was, especially towards the end. But for the first 36 hours, 40 hours, it was fine, to be honest. I do intermittent fasting most of the time, so 16 hours not eating isn't too much of a hassle. Okay, I have a confession here. 7 hours in to the fast, I decided to have a workout because I just wasn't really feeling balanced, and I need a workout in order to feel a bit more balanced. And the issue that I had is after doing a workout, and it wasn't a big one, but 7 hours into a workout, knowing I'm not going to eat for another 65 hours, that probably should have clicked. I also went for a swim, a jog as well throughout the time, so I was still doing a bit of exercise. I mean, that probably wasn't the best. However, I pulled through it. I didn't die. But that was just a learning point. So, next. 2 days of the 72-hour fast for me was fine to work. Fine. The last day was more challenging. I specifically didn't organise any client calls on the third day because I thought it could be. Thank God. Because if I had, it would have been... I could put myself through because your energy goes in bouts and waves. It's really weird. Like, I felt lightheaded, and then an hour later I'd have energy, and then I'd feel maybe a little bit lightheaded. So it was kind of strange, but for a client call, I'd want to be able to really be on it. So I'm glad I just organised them for the first 2 days. So next is that everyone has an opinion about... I sometimes forget how many people have opinions on everything, right? Because it doesn't cost anything to have an opinion. And I'd like to use a quote from Aristotle that it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. So it was important for me throughout this time to entertain some thoughts from people without accepting any of what they're talking about because they're clearly idiots. And I'm very glad that I did that, and that was another learning curve that, you know, whenever you do experiments and you experiment with your body, people will say certain things to you. So I think it's nice to be able to take everything with a pinch of salt. Next, so fat loss. I lost 2.2 kg, which is pretty cool. So I will now show you photos of that. So as you can see from the images, there are places where I've clearly lost weight. But you may not be able to see it very, very clearly, but either way, that's 2.2 kg of difference, which is pretty cool. What was fascinating, you know, as I was losing the weight, is I would obviously enter a state which medically is termed, I just want to make sure I get this right, autophagy? Autophagy? I don't know, something like that. It's basically where your body starts to eat itself because you're giving yourself no nutrition. Also, what was fascinating is that throughout the experience, did you hear that? That was my stomach growling. That's quite funny. Obviously, it was still hungry. However, you produce ghrelin, which is a hormone that makes you hungry, when you periodically have times where you usually eat food. So what was fascinating in the experiment is that it got to the stage where, to be honest, I didn't really experience the hunger that much throughout. However, towards the 48 to 72 hour mark, I was feeling pretty peckish. I mean, I was hungry. And I was actually surprisingly a little bit more irritable than usual. My brother was teasing me with some mint straws, and I did feel myself getting a little bit slightly more angry. Unfortunately for him, I didn't kill him, but a 60-hour animal that hasn't eaten could get rather ravenous. I mean, just putting it out there. Next, it was a challenge. I have to say, it was mentally stimulating to think about not eating for 3 days. I mean, it seems silly when you say it out loud, but actually doing it and going through the process, it was pretty cool. And the reason that I did is that I have people that are very close friends of mine who have done these sorts of things, and some people say, I felt so much energy, I felt euphoric, I felt animalistic, like I was in survival mode. To be honest, I don't really get much of that. I'm a little bit lightheaded, I'm pretty hungry, but I'm okay. And then suddenly energy goes up, energy goes down. I didn't really feel primal as such, but you know, it could have been primal if my brother annoyed me anymore. I mean, it could be game over for him. So, last thing is where do we move from here? So, ultimately, the 72-hour fast was pretty fascinating, and I love experimenting and challenging myself and moving myself to understand just my body in different ways. So, actually, I'll share this with you. So, there's this guy, and I'll make sure I read this right. He went 392 days without solid food. He just had supplements and water, and he lost like something stupid, like I think it was like 300 pounds or something crazy like that. It was an experiment they did in the, let's get this right, in 1965. That was pretty weird. So I'm not going to be doing that, but I was thinking that I will do some more fast, but with nutrition, and see how that makes me feel. But overall, the 72-hour fast was a success. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment if you've got any other challenges or anything that you think would help me understand energy or optimizing human potential even more that I haven't done already, because I've done a fair amount, so check my channel for different videos that I've done. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do end up doing your water fast, enjoy.